This is how to quit your 9 to 5 job in the next 6 to 12 months and become financially free in as clear a step by step as I possibly can. I want to first get this out of the way. What does the actual term financial freedom even mean? It's not about quitting your job. Plenty of people quit jobs and either end up broke or literally just add another job in and of itself within a couple of months. To me, true financial freedom means having systems, money, and skills that generate income without trading your time directly for that said money, right? At your 9 to 5, you're trading hours for dollars with a fixed ceiling. Unless you're in some enterprise level role, you're a C-suite, you're in sales, whatever, you have a capped ceiling. No questions asked, right? Financial freedom is you being, paid for what you're actually worth on a skill level and being able to stack and invest a ton of cash on a monthly basis, right? The math at most jobs literally just doesn't work. If you're making, call it 75 grand a year, even 100 grand a year, after taxes, expenses, a whole bunch of other things and factors that creep up, you might save 10, maybe 12, 15 grand a year. At that rate, true financial freedom is decades away anyways. So it's there is a faster path, one that doesn't even require you to start the next freaking Facebook or win the lottery either. And that's what we want to talk about today. So let's get into it. This is what I call the kind of pre-launch phase, if you will, months 1 to 3. The journey to quitting your job starts well before you actually quit. I learned this very nicely. The first 3 months are all about building your foundation while you still have stable income. I'm not telling you to go and quit tomorrow. Don't do that. That's actually a stupid idea. Your step 1 needs to build your emergency or freedom fund. You need to know what your freedom number is because that exact amount gives you the runway to quit safely, right? And don't tell people about this. Don't, keep things on the down low. Take your, keep your monthly burn, take your monthly expenses and multiply it by, I like to do 6, but if you can, do 12 months, do a year, depending on your risk tolerance, right? But here's the hack most people missed. Don't just save, right? Reduce what you need to save. Get debts eliminated immediately. I don't care about any, doesn't matter if it's unless a really low interest student loan or a mortgage, get it off your plate. Please trust me. This is what I talk about, the expense elimination strategy, if you will. It's I wasn't even making that much money, maybe $3,500, $3,200 net after taxes, sometimes even less without bonuses, but I reduced every single thing for a solid year or two before I really started to see compounding take its place, right? So negotiating bills, getting rid of stupid subscriptions, temporarily, the key word is temporarily, cutting luxuries. That saved me probably $1,200, $1,500 a month, which I threw into myself, I threw into investing, and it really, really worked well. The step 2 of this is develop your skill stack. Not all skills are created equal. Some create freedom, most don't, right? So you may have skills that you have within your job, but it's are they really transferable? Are they going to make you money on your own? Probably not, right? So do an assessment. In my opinion, the highest leverage skills that I found are sales, so the ability to convert conversations to customers, ideally high ticket or enterprise software. You have 2, copywriting, being able to write words that sell, and then 3 is any type of digital marketing, specifically paid ads or funnels, right? So focus on one of these. If you had to pick one, I'd obviously pick sales because it's a transferable skill, but any 3 of those can crush and make you a ton of money. I developed these through resources. It was also in my job, right? So I was able to learn a ton just by doing that on and of itself. And it just helped me propel that much further. But you don't even need to master all 3. Pick one that best aligns with your natural abilities and just focus there first. One marketable skill, trust me, can completely change your financial life and just everything, within your life in general. Step 3 within this, choose your freedom vehicle, okay? Your freedom vehicle is how you're actually going to monetize things. It's how you're going to monetize this skill. Here are the options and the fastest path to kind of replacing your job income. For beginners, I recommend starting services. Why? Because it's low startup costs. It's the fastest path to cash flow. You could literally start it tomorrow and you don't need much tech skills, right? When I offered my appointment setting services, it was very easy to get plugged into a realtor's database tomorrow if I wanted to. I could literally start right then and there. So it was awesome. Part total 3 is what I call the bridge income strategy. Now we're getting to the actual exciting part, right? Months 4 to 6 are about building what I call the bridge income. That starts flowing in while you're still employed. This is what I did exactly for myself and it worked beautifully. I always made sure my income, my 9 to 5 income was matched. And the goal isn't even to immediately replace your full salary. You just need enough consistent income to know you won't be eating ramen noodles after quitting, okay? You won't be living on the street. You need to focus on that. Here's how to create a minimum viable offer. Identify identify the specific problem you can solve based on your chosen skill, right? So if it's a consultant who has too many leads, who needs a closer, boom, there you are. Or as an appointment setter, boom, there you go. If it's someone who writes emails for a daily basis and they run an e-commerce brand, but they need to write 2 emails on a daily basis with multiple email flows a week, you can come in there as a copywriter. If it's someone who wants to scale marketing with Facebook ads and Google ads, boom, you can come in there as a paid ads manager. Like, figure that out. Number 2 on that, create a simple results-focused offer with clear deliverables. So I will convert X amount of leads into appointments for you in 30 days. Like, that's an awesome offer, just to riff off some ideas. And 3, price it at the sweet spot, high enough to be worth your time, low enough for easy yes decisions or for cheap clients. You don't want to be taken advantage of here, right? I'm all for learning and even doing stuff for free if I have to, but don't be silly. Don't just give this to anyone, anyone under the sun. You got to be careful. My first offer was obviously helping realtors with their online leads. So I would go in and be like, hey, you're probably getting leads from Google and Facebook ads right now. I can help you convert those into appointments. So it was a very easy sell for me. And then if they didn't have leads, it was a cross sell. It's like, awesome, we'll do lead gen and appointment setting. It was a no-brainer offer. And I did this through my network, to start. And then I went through cold outbound and just cold emailed and cold called these people, right? The key is just starting before you feel ready. Please understand that. Your offer will evolve. You will evolve as a person, but you need market feedback to improve it. So many guys I know just kind of sit in this analysis paralysis mode, and that is the worst thing you could do. I did that for like 2 years. I started, but I didn't scratch the surface deep enough, and then I got in my head, I got to self-doubt, and I moved on to the next thing. It's like you need to stick with something long enough to at least see some decent results. So please just start. You could do this tomorrow. Part 4 is, call it the escape velocity, right? That this is like, okay, we're starting to move. We're looking at quitting. Months 7 to 9, I would call it, is when you want to look at this. The point where leaving your job actually becomes not just possible, but the obvious choice. Step 1 of this, build predictable revenue, okay? So you need something with reoccurring. It's not that I'm against it, but I hate start from zero businesses. I want to serve and onboard a business that is going to need my services till the day they die, genuinely. Like, what can I offer this person that is going to continue to get them buying for me month and month and month again, right? You don't want to, if you have to, do a build and release, do a big one-time project. If it's 15 grand one time, that's totally different. But if it's 2 grand one time, it's like, dude, you're going to have a very hard time chasing enough customers to make a livable wage, right? So just be very, very careful with that. And just really, again, this comes back to the offer. Make sure that your offer is tiptoe and just amazing, and it's not, being saturated or watered down. And this approach for me converted at crazy numbers because it was easy for them to digest. It was simple for them to understand. And client work is great. You need to do this as a freelancer. True freedom comes from more leveraged income. This is when I started hiring employees, right? This is when I started, getting people from onlinejobs.ph, from LinkedIn networks, from different people that I knew I needed to hire to buy my time back so I can work on the business, not in the business, right? This is key if you really want freedom. It's like you can sit there 10 to 12 hours a day doing the work yourself and make a ton of money at 90% margins, or you can go down to 50% margins, but get 20 hours of your week back, 25 hours, 30 hours, which is where I'm at now. I work part-time or even less than part-time, and I make way more than what I did a couple years back as a freelancer, even though the profit back then was more, right? So just think about that. And then start to plan your strategic exit. When is there a perfect number? There isn't, guys. Trust me. Like I wish there was an answer for everyone. Everyone is different. If you want my advice, it's when your 9 to 5 income is matched to your side hustle income. If you're making $5 grand a month net from your 9 to 5 and your side hustle hits that $5K a month mark and you're only working 20 hours a week on your side hustle, it is law of averages at that point. It's like, okay, if you're working 20 hours a week on the side hustle and making, $5 grand a month, math states that if you double your work output, you will probably make somewhere around 8 to 10 grand a month. And unless you're getting a $5 grand a month raise at work right now, it's probably not worth the time. It is probably seriously worth your time looking at quitting and going into your side hustle full time. This is what I did. I actually was very risk averse. I had way more money coming in from my 9 to 5. I had from my side hustle, I had $4 grand a month, maybe gross total coming in from the 9 to 5. And I secured $12,000 a month in contracts for my freelance stuff. I was like, this is a no-brainer, but it was still so nerve-wracking for me. So there's not a perfect time. Just figure out your financial bottlenecks, if you will, and then kind of go from there. So plan your strategic exit. The final weeks before quitting are crucial. This is like the week by week. Make sure your client agreements are on. Make sure cash flow is steady. Double your emergency fund if possible if you really need to. Document all contacts, resources from your job, and network that you have. Have the conversation with your boss in a nice way. I wouldn't recommend burning the bridges, and that's when you can officially quit. This can happen sooner than you think. I know we're on 7 to 9, but this could happen at month 6, even month 4 to 5 if you really beef things up quick enough. So just think about that. Remember, how you leave matters. I left on good terms, and I just want to get that out of the way again. So part 5, the first 100 days of freedom, right? This is when first 100 days, in my opinion, after quitting, determine whether you're going to thrive or you're going to struggle. Most people fail here because they just lose structure, right? They're going to the gym at random times. They're staying up late. They're waking up early. It's like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. You need to really kick it into high gear. For me, I had trouble sleeping because I was nervous. I was excited. I was anxious. All the emotions were happening. If you don't feel that urge, it's probably not the right time for you to be quitting. You probably may have made the wrong decision there. So you want to be very, very careful. Establish your routine. Keep a routine. I noticed at that time I still worked more. I worked 10, 12 hours a day for the first couple of months of my business. You need to feel that way too. It is about working on your own terms. I'm a huge fan of the saying, I'd rather make 50 grand working for myself than 100 grand working for someone else. Just don't get too over the head. Don't get too excited. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Stack your cash in a nice, lean way and start really optimizing your client systems. It's okay, if I have to start paid ads, if I have to do cold email, it's how many emails do I have to send to get X amount of customers new, every single month, so I know my income won't dry up. If I need to spend X amount in ad spend to get new clients, how much do I need to spend every single month, no questions asked, so I know I've got that recurring revenue coming in and new customers coming through that door. You need to think this way. You're in business, you're 100% on your own. You got to make sure that income is steady and then it's consistently coming up. Part 6 is scaling to true financial freedom. This is years 1 to 2. Now we're moving beyond just replacing your 9 to 5 income. You're building true financial freedom. And there's 3 levers that I want you to pull here. It's investing, right? You need to have these 3 buckets. You have to have money investing into your growing business, into growing the actual, asset that you have. You have maybe 30% into traditional asset-based investments. So for me, it was index funds, all that kind of stuff, real estate a little bit. 20-ish% into higher risk investments with growth potential, and then maybe 10%, 15, 20% for cash reserves, for opportunities, for just keeping a good, cash basis on a monthly basis and kind of rolling from there. So I know this was summed up as best as I can. If you have any questions on it, please let me know. Maybe I'll do some future videos on this at a later time, and we'll roll from there. Thank you.